My ex dumped me for not being successful enough, laughing, "I need a partner who can match my lifestyle." Years later, he saw me pull up in a Ferrari. His jaw dropped as I stepped out with my wealthy husband. He stammered, "Wait, you married into money?" I smirked, "No. I made the money." I was 25 and living in Chicago when I met Alex. I worked as a graphic designer at a small firm, pouring my heart into every project. Alex had just started in finance. He was charming and ambitious, and we quickly became inseparable. Our relationship was filled with laughter, late-night talks, and dreams about the future. We often discussed our aspirations. Alex envisioned a life of luxury and high status, while I was content with a simple, fulfilling life doing what I loved. I believed that with hard work, success would follow in time. As months passed, I noticed a shift in Alex's demeanor. He began making subtle comments about my job, questioning why I hadn't aimed for a more prestigious position or why I wasn't earning as much as some of our friends. At first, I brushed it off, thinking he was just concerned about our future. One evening, as we sat in our favorite cafe in Lincoln Park, Alex brought up the topic again. "You know, I've been thinking," he began, stirring his coffee, "I need a partner who can match my lifestyle. Someone who's as driven and successful as I am." I felt a lump form in my throat. "What are you saying, Alex?" He sighed, avoiding my gaze. "I just think we're on different paths. I want more out of life, and I don't know if you can provide that." Tears welled up in my eyes as his words sank in. I had always supported his ambitions, stood by him during his struggles, and now he was discarding me because I didn't fit into his ideal of success. Without another word, I got up and left, leaving behind the man I thought I knew. The breakup shattered me. I questioned my worth, my career choices, and my future. But amidst the pain, a spark ignited within me, a determination to prove to myself that I was capable of achieving greatness on my own terms. I threw myself into my work, taking on freelance projects alongside my full-time job. I attended workshops, learned new skills, and began building a portfolio that showcased my unique style. My hard work didn't go unnoticed. Within a year, I was offered a position at a renowned design agency in New York City. Moving to New York was daunting, but it was the fresh start I needed. The city's energy was infectious, and I found myself thriving in the fast-paced environment. I collaborated with high-profile clients, and my designs started gaining recognition. I even had the opportunity to work on a campaign for a major fashion brand, which catapulted my career to new heights. During this time, I met James, an entrepreneur who had just launched his tech startup. We met at a networking event in Soho and instantly connected over our shared passion for innovation and design. Our relationship blossomed, and we became partners in both life and business. Together, we launched a creative agency that combined his tech expertise with my design skills. The agency flourished, attracting clients from all over the country. Years passed, and life was good. One sunny afternoon, James and I decided to visit Chicago for a weekend getaway. As we strolled down Michigan Avenue, reminiscing about old times, we stopped by a luxury car dealership. James had been eyeing a Ferrari for some time and finally decided to make the purchase. As we pulled up to a popular downtown restaurant in the sleek, red Ferrari, I noticed a familiar figure standing by the entrance. It was Alex. He was dressed in an expensive suit, but there was a certain weariness in his posture. Our eyes met, and I saw the flicker of recognition in his eyes. I stepped out of the car, feeling a mix of emotions. Alex approached hesitantly, his eyes darting between me and the car. "Wow, it's been a while," he said, attempting a smile. "I see you've done well for yourself." I nodded, a smirk playing on my lips. "Yes, things have been going great." He glanced at James, who was now standing beside me. "Is this your husband?" James extended his hand. "James, nice to meet you." Alex shook his hand, then turned to me. "So, you married into money?" I chuckled softly, shaking my head. "No, Alex. I made the money." His eyes widened in surprise, and for a moment, he was speechless. I could see the realization dawning on him. The woman he once deemed not successful enough had surpassed his expectations and then some. As we walked into the restaurant, leaving Alex standing there, I felt a sense of closure. Not because I had sought revenge, but because I had proven to myself that success isn't defined by someone else's standards. It's about finding your passion, working hard, and creating a life that brings you fulfillment and joy. And in that moment, I knew I had achieved just that. Alex didn't walk away right away. He stood there, still staring, trying to piece together what he'd just heard. I could tell his ego took a hit. James and I went inside the restaurant, but my appetite was gone. My mind was racing. About 20 minutes into dinner, I glanced at my phone. A message popped up. "Alex, can we talk? Just 5 minutes." I stared at the screen. My first instinct was to ignore it. I owed him nothing, but a part of me wanted to hear what he had to say. Curiosity more than anything. James noticed my expression and raised an eyebrow. "Everything okay?" I told him. James shrugged. "Do what you need to do. Just don't let him get under your skin." I stepped outside. Alex was leaning on a railing nearby, looking like he hadn't moved since we left him. When he saw me, he straightened up. "I'm not trying to mess up your night. I just need to say this," he started. "You look amazing." And I was an idiot. I didn't know you'd become this. I didn't say anything. I just looked at him, waiting for him to continue. I thought I was climbing some ladder. But half the people I wanted to impress are broke now or pretending to be rich on credit. I'm divorced. My ex-wife left me for a guy with more money. I've made money, lost it. I'm not happy. But you look like you're actually happy." He looked like he meant it. For a second, I felt pity. Then I remembered how small he made me feel years ago. "You didn't just leave me," I said. "You laughed in my face. You said you needed someone to match your lifestyle. You thought you were better than me. And now you want sympathy." Alex looked down, hands in his pockets. "I know I don't deserve it. But I'm just trying to be honest. You deserved better than the way I ended things." I thought I was choosing success. I didn't know success could look like you. It was a good line. Too good. It sounded rehearsed. I wasn't sure if he meant it or if he just hated that he lost the bet. I turned to go back inside. "Thanks for saying that. But your 5 minutes are up." Back at the table, James was sipping his drink calmly. "He tried to crawl back?" "Something like that," I said. The weekend went by, and we flew back to New York. I didn't think much more of it, but a week later, I got an email. It was from Alex. Subject: "Just one question body. Did I ever really know you?" I deleted it. But then, a month later, I found out he had applied for a job at a company I was consulting for. My name was on the panel that reviewed applicants. At first, I thought it was a coincidence. Then I saw his application. It was solid. He was qualified. But something in my gut said this wasn't just a career move. I didn't say anything during the review process. I stayed professional. But something felt off. Then I got a message from one of the junior designers I mentored. She said, "Hey, weird question. Do you know an Alex T? He reached out to me on LinkedIn asking about the office culture here. Said he used to know you." My stomach turned. He was circling. Testing the waters. Dropping my name. That night, I told James everything. He leaned back in his chair and frowned. "He's trying to insert himself back into your world. That's not just awkward. That's manipulative." I agreed. But I still didn't know what to do. A week later, Alex showed up at an open industry event. He wasn't invited by me, and we hadn't spoken since Chicago. He came up to me like we were old friends. "I was hoping I'd run into you again," he said, smiling. "You don't work in this sector," I said, cutting to the point. "I might. Soon." He was pushing it. Acting like we were in the same league now. Like he could just pick up where we left off, rewrite the story. I kept it short and professional. but I left early. The next morning, I got a message from HR at the consulting firm. We're getting unusual messages from a candidate we passed on. He claims he has a personal relationship with you and is accusing us of bias. I stared at the screen, stunned. Alex was accusing the company of rejecting him because of me. I sat there, heart pounding. This was no longer awkward or emotional. This was a threat. He was trying to twist the story, paint himself as the victim. I forwarded everything, his emails, the LinkedIn messages my mentee received, the HR note, to the legal team. I filed an internal statement outlining everything that had happened since we ran into him in Chicago. That same week, James had lunch with a mutual contact in tech. Turns out Alex had been name-dropping me all over the place, trying to make himself look connected, like we were still close. James came home that night more angry than I'd ever seen him. He's trying to use you. Your name, your story, your success. He wants a shortcut. He's latching onto you. And he was right. Alex wasn't after closure. He was after clout. And I wasn't about to give it to him. A week after that last HR message, I got a call from my old boss in Chicago. He never calls unless it's something serious. Hey, he said. Strange question. Did you recommend someone named Alex T for our New York expansion team? My heart dropped. No, I said. Why? He hesitated. Because he showed up to our office. Claimed you two were close. Said you told him we were hiring and vouched for him personally. I couldn't even respond at first. It was one thing to name drop me. Now he was forging professional recommendations? He had paperwork too, my old boss added. A fake email chain that looked like it came from your agency account. That was it. This wasn't just manipulation anymore. It was fraud. I ended the call and immediately went to my firm's legal counsel and IT department. We checked everything. There was no email ever sent to Alex from our agency. But he'd gone as far as mocking up a fake thread using my signature and email formatting. I knew it was time to involve lawyers. Our firm's legal team issued a cease and desist. It was formal, aggressive, and clear. Stop using my name. Stop using falsified documents. Stop contacting people in my professional circle. I thought that would be the end of it. But then James's startup got hit. A scathing anonymous blog post popped up out of nowhere. It accused his company of shady investor practices, vague claims about misusing funds. It didn't name James directly, but heavily implied it. The whole thing read like someone bitter and reaching. But it was dangerous. Potential investors were starting to ask questions. James had nothing to hide, but he was furious. He hired a cyber investigator. Within days, they traced the IP address of the original blog post. It was linked to a coffee shop Wi-Fi in Chicago, the same one Alex used to work near. That wasn't proof, but it was enough of a thread. Things got worse when another post popped up, this time naming me. It accused me of plagiarizing designs, stealing ideas from former clients, even lying about my credentials. Again, vague and anonymous, but damaging. It wasn't just online posts. Some of our agency's clients received anonymous tips. One client, a fashion brand, pulled out of a major project citing reputation concerns. I felt sick. James and I went into full crisis mode. We hired a second investigator and a PR consultant. I stopped going to events. I scrubbed my online profiles. I was suddenly living in fear of the next lie being dropped. Then something unexpected happened. One of Alex's old coworkers messaged me on LinkedIn. She said, "Hey, I don't want to stir anything up, but Alex has been acting strange. He talks about you a lot. Like, in a weird way. He said you two were supposed to end up together. He says you ruined his career." That was the moment it all clicked. This wasn't about getting ahead. This was personal. He hadn't just lost a girlfriend years ago. He lost someone he thought would orbit around him forever. He saw my success as his failure. We had him legally warned. The PR team began controlling the narrative. We released official statements. We filed defamation paperwork. Our investigator traced all the IP logs connected to the blogs and anonymous messages. While they didn't lead directly to Alex, Several were posted from a VPN that had been used to access Alex's bank and email accounts in the past, according to records from a hacked dump years ago. Still not ironclad, but strong enough for lawyers to take seriously. Alex finally went quiet. For about a month. Then I got the invitation. It was a wedding invitation. His wedding. It was handwritten, addressed to me. The note said, "I want you to see what I've built. I want you to meet the real me now." It didn't even sound like a real wedding. It sounded like a performance. I didn't respond. I didn't go. But someone sent me photos. It was in a rented hall. Small, maybe 20 people. The bride was a woman I'd never seen before. The weirdest part? One of the photos showed a poster-sized framed photo of Alex and me in the hallway, as if it was part of the decor. My stomach turned. This wasn't over. Not yet. James and I sat down and talked seriously. "He's unstable," he said. "We need to protect you. Not just from gossip. From him." I agreed. But I didn't want to just run. I was tired of being on defense. So I started building a file. A full, legal, verifiable file. Every message. Every fake profile. Every anonymous post traced. Every client who received tips. Every email. Every forged document. I didn't know what I'd do with it yet. But I knew something was coming. And this time, I'd be ready. I kept the file locked and backed up in multiple places. My lawyer had copies. James had one too. I called it the mess. I didn't want revenge. I just wanted peace. But peace wasn't coming, not with Alex still watching from the sidelines, pretending we were unfinished business. 3 months after his weird wedding, things got quiet again. Too quiet. No messages. No blog posts. No sightings. I tried to believe maybe he moved on. Then a new client reached out. A big one. Corporate. They said they were referred by someone who had worked with me back in Chicago. That was the exact phrase they used. My heart dropped. I asked the name. They said, Alex T. I was done. I set up the meeting. Not for the client. For him. I rented a quiet private room in a hotel downtown. James sat in the lobby, just in case. My lawyer waited on call. Alex showed up 5 minutes late, wearing a smug grin like this was all some game. I didn't even say hello. I slid a folder across the table. What's this? He asked. Everything, I said. Every fake post. Every fake message. Every email you forged. Every client you tried to poison. Every lie. It's all here. With receipts. He didn't open it right away. He just stared at me. Then laughed. You think this scares me? No, I said. But this might. I pulled out my phone and hit play. It was a recording from his old coworker. The one who messaged me. I had asked her to document their conversations on the record. She agreed, after he told her I owed him another chance. The clip was short, but it was enough. She thinks she's better than me. I made her. If I can't have her, I'll ruin her. Alex's face changed. That's illegal, he said. You can't record. She recorded it. Not me, I said. I have her full consent. We submitted it with the rest of the file. He swallowed hard. You sent fake referrals, attacked my business, and harassed my clients. If you ever speak my name again, to anyone, I will bury you in legal hell so deep you'll be filing papers in your sleep. This is your one and only warning. He opened his mouth. I raised my hand. And one more thing. That job application? The one you sent last year? The rejection? That wasn't personal. Your resume just wasn't that good. His face turned red. I stood up. He stayed sitting. As I walked out, I didn't feel triumphant. I felt tired. Angry. But mostly done. I didn't hear from Alex again after that. We served him with a restraining order, just in case. My lawyer followed through on the cease and desist, and our cyber team worked to clean up what he'd left behind. But here's the truth. I made mistakes too. I let him back in emotionally, even if I didn't mean to. I gave him too much space in my head. I let the idea of proving him wrong drive me. Success isn't about revenge. It's not about Ferraris or nameplates or shutting someone down in a fancy hotel. That stuff fades fast. What lasts is peace, silence, boundaries that don't move. Alex was noise. Now he's gone. And I finally have quiet.